The global automotive landscape has shifted. China has evolved from a participant to the architect of the electric vehicle era. In 2024, the global EV market hit a critical milestone of nearly 18 million units. China produced over 70% of them, 12.4 million vehicles. This is a result of a multi-decadal strategy. They have successfully integrated upstream resources, battery innovation, and digital ecosystems into one cohesive value chain. While North America and Europe face headwinds, China is accelerating, investing roughly $800 billion in clean technologies. Now, the focus shifts to emerging markets like Vietnam and Indonesia, which are rapidly adopting Chinese-made vehicles. The center of gravity has moved. China is now the definitive engine of the global automotive world. The evolution of China's new energy vehicle industry is a textbook study in strategic industrial policy. The government's approach has transitioned through distinct phases from technological exploration and heavy financial stimulation to an infrastructure-focused expansion, and finally, the current era of market-oriented governance. Implemented in 2018, the dual credit system represents a pivotal shift from demand-pull subsidies to a supply-push regulatory mandate. This system requires automakers to accumulate two types of credits: corporate average fuel consumption credits and MAV credits. It creates a private sector subsidy where ICE-heavy firms fund electric competitors, reducing the fiscal burden on the central government. While central subsidies phased out in 2023, purchase tax exemptions remain through 2027, supporting the market through targeted relief. New trade-in programs further stimulate demand, providing incentives for consumers to swap high-emission vehicles for new NAVs. The most significant structural advantage held by the Chinese EV industry is its comprehensive control over the upstream supply chain. Unlike Western OEMs, who often operate as integrators of third-party components, Chinese firms like BYD are vertically integrated, controlling everything from mineral extraction to final vehicle assembly. China has methodically secured access to the three pillars of modern battery chemistry: lithium, cobalt, and graphite. In 2023, China produced 18% of the world's mined lithium, yet Chinese companies control 25% of global lithium mining capacity through extensive investments in the lithium triangle of South America and hard rock mines in Australia. In the cobalt sector, Chinese dominance is even more pronounced. Chinese firms own approximately 80% of cobalt production in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a nation that accounts for more than 70% of global supply. CMOC, a leading Chinese miner, produced 114,000 tons of cobalt in 2024, ensuring supply security, the refining bottleneck. While mining is a global endeavor, refining is a Chinese one. China processes over 90% of the world's graphite and approximately 76% of all lithium chemicals. This dominance allows for strategic control over global supply chains. The geographic concentration of refining capacity has increased, with China accounting for almost 90% of the growth in refined critical minerals. This allows China to implement export controls on materials like graphite, forcing competitors to seek higher-cost alternatives. Midstream supremacy, the triumph of lithium iron phosphate, or LFP. While LFP has lower energy density, it is 20 to 30% cheaper than NMC, safer, and avoids expensive cobalt. By 2024, LFP batteries accounted for nearly half of the global EV market. Manufacturing scale has triggered a price collapse. In 2024, battery prices in China dropped 30% year-on-year, creating a persistent cost advantage over international peers and allowing premium features at mass market prices. Downstream ecosystems, infrastructure. The strength of China's EV position is not just in the vehicle, but in the environment. China has built the world's largest charging network, viewing it as new infrastructure equivalent to high-speed rail. As of July 2025, China's charging infrastructure reached nearly 17 million units. Beyond traditional charging, NIO has pioneered battery swapping, operating over 3,800 power swap stations that provide a full charge in under 3 minutes. The competitive frontier has shifted to intelligent mobility. Chinese EVs are increasingly software-defined vehicles. Tech giants like Huawei and Xiaomi integrate cars with digital ecosystems, turning them into connected third spaces. Domestic autonomous driving systems from companies like Xpeng and Huawei are optimized for China's complex urban environments, receiving weekly updates and driving the shift from electric to intelligent. The Chinese domestic market is the most competitive automotive arena in the world. In 2024, BYD emerged as the dominant force, delivering over 3.5 million vehicles. Controlling over 31% of domestic EV registrations, BYD leads the pack by a massive margin, leaving competitors like Tesla and Wuling trailing in single digits. A key trend is the resurgence of plug-in hybrids, which grew their market share to 45% as consumers seek to balance electrification with long-distance travel flexibility. Xiaomi's entry with the SU7 sedan has disrupted the premium segment, securing a 3.5% market share in its first year, a feat unmatched in automotive history. Beyond sales, a critical shift is happening under the hood. Geopolitical tensions have accelerated a national push for silicon sovereignty to reduce reliance on foreign chips. The MIIT has set an aggressive goal for automakers to achieve 100% domestically sourced chips by 2027, with leaders like BYD and SAIC moving even faster. Domestic players are rising rapidly, from Horizon Robotics and AI to BYD Semiconductor and Power Management. The local supply chain is solidifying. While advanced 5nm fabrication remains a challenge, China is rapidly becoming self-sufficient in the legacy nodes that power the bulk of automotive electronics. Global trade frictions and the pivot to localization. China's export growth slowed in 2024, largely due to rising trade barriers in the West and high tariffs from the U.S. and EU. The U.S. and Canada have imposed 100% tariffs, citing unfair trade practices, while the EU has set rates up to 35.3% to protect local labor. In response, Chinese OEMs are building second homes abroad, pivoting from exporting products to exporting capital and technology. BYD is building a massive plant in Hungary to avoid EU duties, while in Thailand, Chinese makers already capture 85% of the EV market. Investments are also flowing into Brazil for local production, and Vietnam is becoming a key regional hub for battery manufacturing. Looking to 2035, the industry aims for full electrification, market dominance, and the large-scale application of autonomous driving. China is transitioning from the world's factory to the world's R&D laboratory, setting the pace and rules for the global electric vehicle race. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you find the video useful. See you again.